There we go. Okay, let's see here. Still says we're offline.
That mic is looking
It's
clunky.
very blue. Quality is good. It says we're sending them to our...
Oh, there we go. I see us.
Are we there?
We're there.
Oh, wow. Well, Restream says we're not live, so that's weird.
Well, Restream is wrong because I'm
Restream is very wrong.
looking at my face.
Which is upsetting because it's...
right now.
You pay for it.
Sue says you're live now. Thank you, Sue.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Sue.
Hi. So excited to be here. Hi, Terry. She says we can see you. Donna's watching. Hello, Donna.
Donna.
Lisa Meadows. Hello, Lisa. How are you doing? Laura. Hello, Laura. We're just going to wait just a second and let people come on in and join us. We have Keenan here working cameras.
Hello. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you for coming today.
You're welcome.
I was about to say you're welcome to your...
You're welcome.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm glad you...
Sharon, hello from East Tennessee. Tiffany, hello.
Oh,
Elise.
We've got some YouTubers. Hello, Deb.
Kara said she just saw a reminder for this and it made her day. It's been a rough one. She needs some sunshine. We're here for you. We'll paint.
Sunshine.
We'll bring sunshine.
There has to be a sunshine song.
The sun will come out.
Today. During our live today.
Yes. Okay. Hi, Jennifer. Hello. Carrie. Welcome, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us on our live. What we're doing today is we are painting our Let's Make Art Matter card for our January recipient. Her name is Brooke, and unfortunately, a bit ago, Brooke lost her husband. And so we are taking some time and painting a postcard to send to her and her family to let her know that we are thinking about her, okay? So this is the postcard we're painting today.
Ooh.
And we're really playing with the bonus item in our January Wonderful World of Color box, which is this Solar Gold Pigment powder, which is super, super fun. And when I was demoing it, I was talking about how like metallic paint shows up really, really great on black watercolor paper or black paper. Now we don't have black paper, but we can make it. We're just gonna paint a dark background and then paint on top of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Okay, so we will be doing this project in 4 steps. Now, for those of you just joining, you will be able to watch this later. If you don't have your paint supplies out with you right now, that's just okay. You can hang out with us, talk with us, and do this project at a later time when it best suits you. So we will be doing this project 4 steps. Our very first one is we will be painting in our background. Our second step is we're going to let that dry and mix our different colors. Our third step, we will be painting our flowers and our leaves. And our very last step is just putting in little dots on our background.
Nice.
Yeah. Now remember, with our Let's Make Art Matter postcards, you are free to paint what you would like to paint. This is just something to help you if you're not sure exactly what it is that you want to paint. Are we ready?
We're ready.
All right. So the brushes that I'm using, I'm going to use a 1-inch wash, my round 2, and my round 6. You're free to use whatever brushes you have at home. The colors that I'm using are the same colors that were in our January box, and I'm not going to swatch them. Is that okay? Hopefully you guys know what they are by now. We're at the very end.
I think it's
January.
allowed.
Okay.
Just for today.
Just for today.
Because it's Monday.
Okay, great.
And we're trying to bring sunshine, not
Yes.
more things to remember.
So we got Payne's Gray, Lemon Yellow, Tahoe Blue, and Fuchsia. Those are our 4 colors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just making sure I'm not missing any questions as I get started. Ooh,
We're getting a lot of hellos from a lot of different states, warm and cold.
Let me say hello in a few different, hello, hi,
Oh,
hello.
wow.
Thank you for joining us. Hi, hello. Good?
The deep bow.
The deep bow. Okay, let's get to painting. So we got our 1-inch wash brush. I'm gonna get it wet, hit it off the side of the cup so it's not dripping. And I'm gonna pick up that Payne's Gray. And Payne's Gray is really, really dark. It's almost like a black, but I feel like it leans a little bit more towards blue. which is why I love it.
It's a good color.
It's a great color. And after I'm literally bathing my brush in this paint, okay, I'm trying to pick up a lot of paint here, okay? And I taped the edges off. I taped my postcard down. And I'm just going to...
Marcy Clark says, question.
Marcy, hello.
Do you remember where I put my tape?
Oh, me and you have the same problem, Marcy.
We actually had to ask for an entire box of tape for the studio so that we didn't keep losing it.
That's
and
true.
And if we did, we had extra.
I would say one of my problems is when I lose, okay, if I have multiple of something, I'm actually not careful at all, because if I lose one, I'll just grab another one and I don't pay attention. Like when I have one hair rubber band left, I know where that sucker is at all times. If I have a whole packet, I actually lose those really quick, because I'm like, oh, I'll just grab another one.
Yep.
I'll just grab another one.
Total sense.
Okay, so we got our dark background. That's it. That's step one. You guys did it. Congratulations.
Wow.
Now we're going to rinse our brush. And when I rinse my brush, I'm going to pull my jar of cup over. It's okay if you press your bristles down into the bottom of your jar, just to help it. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to leave your brushes in the water. I try not to, even like mid-painting, I try to not leave them in the water. It's just not good for your brushes. And if water gets in the ferrule here, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but if it gets in this part and goes up here, that's where your brushes can start to like splinter or get some of this finish off and things like that when water gets trapped. Yeah. So I usually like to rinse and then just lay it down on my paper towel. Okay, now what we're going to do while we let this Payne's Gray dry is we are going to mix our other colors. So I don't usually use this mixing tray. You guys know I usually use my butcher tray palette. But I thought this one was perfect because I want to keep the colors separate with the metallics. So I'm going to pour some Tahoe blue and yellow and fuchsia. Uh-oh, my fuchsia's stuck.
I have some light experience in getting paint out of bottles.
Do you?
Yes, but pink generally explodes on me.
I'm just going to actually take off the cap here.
Oh, snap.
And just pour it. There we go. Okay.
Good.
I 100% will probably knock that down later. That's just how it goes, right? Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my gold pigment powder here, and using a dry brush, I'm just going to scoop some into that paint. Now you're going to want to make sure that you're using a decent amount of this pigment powder. Probably way more than you should. Like I'm experimenting with this product the same that you are, and I think it's super fun, so I'm really sorry if I don't give the best information, but when I was mixing this, the way that it shows up is if it's like super gold and you're just getting a hint of the pink color. That's how I've noticed that it works with it showing up. Okay, now before I scoop gold into my other ones, I actually want to mix green. So I'm going to take a scoop of my blue into that yellow. There we go. And now I have this really gorgeous green.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. And then I'm just going to scoop some of this gold into that green. There we go. And then I'm going to add a little extra water to make it just easier to move. And mix the pink. There we go. Now remember, because this pigment powder is gold, it's going to give some warmth to whatever colors you're adding it to. So it's going to make that pink nice and warm. It's going to make that green nice and yellow.
Will some of this paint, as you apply it to the background, will it reactivate that background a little bit, or have you noticed that it's good to go?
For me, I didn't notice a lot of reactivation, but that's because also I used not a ton of water when I was laying it down. Should we turn off that?
Sure.
Okay.
It's cold.
We have a heater going, it's cold, and I just realized our heater's on and it's probably adding some noise. Okay, so now we're gonna add our flower. I feel like my paper is fairly dry. I just got it wet by touching it. Okay. I'm gonna grab my round 6 and I'm gonna pick up this pink color and I'm just gonna do a flower.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's just like this
That
really
is so shiny.
gorgeous.
I love it so much.
Now, when it comes to flowers, I try and make sure that my petals, that I have 5 petals. They do not need to be perfect. They don't need to be the same size. They don't need to be anything. If you look at flowers, there's always like a wonky petal going on. There's always like something funky. And so we embrace that. And even if you're like, is that a petal? I am sure somewhere in nature there is a petal that looks like this. So it's not a big deal. Just keep on going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And see, I kind of have uneven edges. And you can see that there are some points where that pink is really peeking through and some where it's mostly gold. This is a really fun, cool element. And it actually dries different than when it's wet too. The other thing that I want to mention before we keep on going is I've noticed that there's 3 stages to this painting. 1, right when you lay the color down. 2, the gold is going to pop out way more than the pink. And then, like much later, the pink is going to come out more. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Because right now it's just looking real gold, and that's okay. We want that gold
It's
with
like
a little
a rose
pink.
gold to me.
Yeah, it's
I think it looks
beautiful.
awesome.
Okay, and then now we're going to add our leaves. So I'm just going to do kind of a football shape curve.
Mm-hmm. Love a good football-shaped leaf.
Curve. And some little tiny ones. Boop, boop, boop. Now, this is your painting, so if you guys want to add more flowers, if you want to do, like, there's so many different things that you guys can do. Please feel free to experiment. Okay? Gosh, isn't that green cool?
Green is on the cool spectrum.
I just want to make sure there aren't any questions. We have some wonderful customer happiness people who are answering questions for us. Thank you so much.
They're incredible.
Okay. Then when I was making this, I was feeling a bit edgy.
Oh, snap.
You know. You know how I like to get living on the edge.
Yes.
So if you're feeling edgy like I am, I took this straight fuchsia, just no metal, no metallic mixed in there, and I just went ahead and dropped it right into this flower.
Cool.
Just to see. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how that's going to dry, but like, why not?
Why would you not try that?
Why wouldn't you just like try it? Okay. Oh, isn't that so cool?
So pretty.
Can you see it on the side camera?
Let
Is
me
it
show
just
you the
too?
side cam.
It's a little too glary.
It's a little glary.
All right, sorry about that, you guys.
But it's nice.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, and then I didn't do my yellow, so I'm going to put some yellow on there. Grab some more pigment powder. Try not to inhale when you're moving this pigment because it's pretty fine. It's just not a good idea to like, whenever, I'm not being a very good example, whenever you play with or use powders or pigments, you should wear a safe mask. I'm sorry that I'm letting you guys down. Okay. So I now have this like yellow gold color, and I'm gonna just do kind of dots all around. Now again, this is your painting, so if you wanna do something else, you can, but I'm just gonna kind of bloop, boop, boop. Now, if you want your dots, you try and stagger them. That's how you get like a polka dot look. Do you know what I mean by that?
Instead of having
Instead of like
stripes or
lining them up.
lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just want to stagger those guys. And you can go all the way to your flower. It's okay if they like blend in a little. And I also let some be big, I let some be little. I wasn't too, I didn't overthink this part too much. I was just adding, well, because at first I was just gonna leave the background black, or that Payne's gray color, but it just felt like it needed a little extra shimmer.
Gotta get a little fill in there.
Yeah, so I added that. Lauren says, Sarah and Keenan, stay with us a little longer and then you can turn that heater back on.
We won't be back here. It will stay cold and we will leave.
Okay. And now I'm going to do the center with that same yellow. I just did a yellow center circle and I left a little bit of space in between the petals and that middle. If you want to do like little detailed dots in the middle, you can. At this point, there's so much paint and metallic pigment that it's not really going to stay. It's just going to kind of blend out. Okay. And then Lori asked, do you clean the brushes differently with the metallic? You just want to make sure you rinse them really, really well, but you can rinse them with water. When I was painting this with like the previous projects, I just rinsed them with water and I'm using them again today and there's no problem. There are such things as like brush cleaners, like paint cleaners that you can use for your brushes. But in my experience, I was able just to rinse them out with water and it worked just fine. Okay, and then I'm actually gonna grab just some blue, just pure blue, no pigment mixed into it. And I'm just gonna put a little bit on these leaves. Now you can try and use your round 2 to do some detail lines if you want, but again, in my experience, it kind of just like sinks into that gold, so they don't stay sharp even when it's dry, but that's okay, because they'll pop up later. Marcia asked, can you use wax over it? That is a great question, Marcia. You can, but you have to let it dry a very, very, very long time. So with this one, I let it dry, and then you can see here that it started to spread a little bit because I was curious, like, will I be able to wax on top of this? And so I went like this, and some of the pigment did smear a little bit, but then when I came back to it the next day or the day after, it did not smear as much when I used the wax on it. So if you let it dry a decent amount of time, you should be able to wax it. Like, can we just talk about this leaf right there? Do you see how it's just like that green right there at the center and then it goes out to that yellow?
Yes, I actually like the darker edge on the left because it makes it feel more 3D.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can, I just feel that leaf.
Really,
like that looks like a real leaf to me.
Yes.
I love it so much.
Okay, just want to make sure I'm not missing any questions. And I'm adding more blue to my leaf.
There are some good comments getting thrown out here. We've had votes for the heater to be back on so we don't get cold.
You guys are so sweet. They're like, we don't care. Just turn on. Why are you suffering?
Right, we couldn't even
We
tell.
can't even hear it. Turn on the heater. It's actually not that cold today in Hamilton.
That's true.
Donna asked, what is waxing? So we carry Dorland's Wax Medium, which is this wonderful finishing wax that if you want to like mail your postcards and keep them safe, and basically just finish any of your watercolor paintings, you take this wax and after your painting is dry, you rub it onto your painting. Now I know you're probably thinking, there's no way I would rub a watercolor painting because that will smear. It doesn't smear. I've tried it. It blew my mind. It works great. I use it for when I sell my professional work and my fine art and originals. I finish it with that wax, and it works great.
Dorland's.
Dorland's Wax Medium. But if you're planning on framing your paintings, do not use both. I don't know why, but I read that somewhere. So it's either frame it, or if you're not going to frame it, wax it.
Oh.
You only need to do one. Kim asked, can you mix a gold pigment with gouache? Yes, you can mix it with gouache. You can mix it with acrylic. You can mix it with ink. You can mix it with clay. You can mix it with whatever you want a little extra shine on.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's super fun, and it comes in a ton of different colors. So you guys can take your paints and make them metallic. You can even mix them with gum arabic, which is the binder. That's the binding agent in watercolor. You can just make metallic, straight metallic paints, mix it with gum arabic, and have your own. You can buy the metallic pigment powder, mix it, and have your own line of metallic watercolors. You can like custom mix different colors. Anyways, so fun, so cool, so many different options. So here's our card. And I'm telling you guys, this painting is going to change as it dries. It's just gonna keep changing. It's gonna keep doing its thing. And you're welcome to I don't know if you can see like that pink going through that.
Nope, it looks like a red on the side.
Oh, that's okay. I like the red. But like, you can just keep adding layers of color if you want. Play with it. But really, you're gonna wanna let this guy dry probably about a day. And it's just gonna keep kind of doing its thing and changing.
Sarah, does that wax make it UV resistant?
I believe so. Who asked that?
Let me answer that question. Annette.
Annette. Can you like save her name? Because I want to.
Annette?
I want to check that, Annette, before I say definitively yes. I want to say yes, but I want to look that up before, because I know that you guys rely on that. Missy asked, does waxing flatten the texture look of the paper? Not in my experience. No, it doesn't. It actually really doesn't affect the overall painting at all, which is really cool.
Michelle answered Annette's question, said the Dorland's site says no.
Okay, thank you. Let me check that and make sure. I'll reach out to that Jacquard, who is one of our wonderful vendors, and they're really great to work with. I'm going to message them and make sure. But if it says that on their website, then most likely. But I'm going to check and make sure. Okay. Dana says no, it doesn't. Da, 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 da,
Linda
da.
says, just jumped on. Hey, Keenan, thanks for the winter storm in New England.
Oh, yeah, there's a storm named Keenan going around.
You're welcome.
Now you guys get to stay in and paint.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you, Keenan.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to let this guy dry. This is it. Now, if you're not entirely sure what we're even talking about or what our Let's Make Art Matter cart is, what we like to do as a community and as a company is we believe that there is power in community. We believe that there is power in art. And people go through things through their life. I mean, it's this shared experience that we have, right? Like joy and grief and loss and love. And when someone is experiencing a hard time, we want people to know that we're thinking about them, but it is scary reaching out to someone who is going through a hard time. You're afraid you're going to say the wrong thing, or you're afraid that you're not going to be what they need at that moment. And because of that fear, sometimes we tend to not do anything at all or say anything at all. And then that person just feels a little bit more alone. And the whole point with Let's Make Art Matter is making art is a way to show someone that you're thinking about them and you care about them without having the perfect words, without knowing exactly what to say. Because I don't know if there is the right thing to say, but it's more about just letting someone know that we're thinking about them and they're not alone. Before Eric, that was Brooke's husband, before he passed away, he actually gifted her a Let's Make Art watercolor box, and she started to watercolor.
Oh, wow.
And now she teaches at watercolor classes at local places. She's in Kansas City. And so we're really grateful that he did that. We're grateful that she was able to be a part of this community, and we hope that we can send her love and support from our own community to let them know we're thinking about you and we're thinking about your family. If there is anyone that you want to nominate for Let's Make Art Matter, you can do so at our website. Go to letsmakeart.com, scroll to the bottom, there should be a Nominate Us button. And I think that's all I need to say.
The address can be found if you email hello@letsmakeart.com.
Thank you. So the postcard comes pre-addressed, pre-stamped in the subscription box. But if you are not a subscriber, you can absolutely still participate. You just need to email hello@letsmakeart.com, and our customer happiness team will send you the address so you can do this. It is, I would say, the most sincere and best part of our subscription box. So if you're going to paint any of the projects, take the time to do this. And remember, it's not about making the perfect piece of art. It's not about saying the perfect thing. It's just letting them know that we're thinking about them. That's it. So thank you so much for joining me on this live and painting this with me. I can't see what else you do with this technique of, doing a dark background and painting metallic on top of it. Feel free to change this however you want. You guys are the artists here, and we'll see you guys next time.